There's a way to overcome your approach anxiety instantly. And the solution is very simple. So simple that when I tell you, you may think, damn it, why didn't I think of that myself? Because you'll have likely been trying for quite a while and trying many different things to overcome your approach anxiety, and it hasn't been working. And for some guys, the solution is so simple that they'll want to resist it and hold on to what has actually been causing approach anxiety for them. Because it just seems too simple, but as you may have discovered in life, the simple solutions are often the best, and it doesn't have to be complicated. So what is the solution? Well, if you think about it, when does approach anxiety happen? It happens prior to you talking to the woman. So there is that time, there is that experience for you before talking to the woman where you're worrying about how things could go wrong. You may say the wrong thing, or they may react in a bad way, or they may not like you, or other people may see you get rejected, or she may look at you and give you a kind of a look that says like, go away, leave me alone sort of thing. All sorts of things could go wrong. And you're stuck in that type of worry and imagining what could go wrong. And as a result, you're feeling anxiety, because that's what anxiety is. It's when you worry, essentially. And so the solution is to not remain in that type of state and try to think your way out of it, because you may have tried many ways to try to think your way out of it and it hasn't been helping you. Instead, what you need to do is realize and accept that approach anxiety is up to the hay. Once you get to the hay, the approach anxiety is gone. Right, so you need to get to the hay, and it can be as simple as a hey, or I'll give you a couple of examples of what you can say after the hey to actually start the conversation. But essentially, rather than trying to think your way out of feeling approach anxiety, just get to the hey. And once you've said hey, the approach anxiety part is over. You're in front of the woman now, and now you're going to start to switch on. Now you're going to be attempting to keep the conversation going and make her feel attracted, and you're in. It's happening. But if you don't get to the hey, then what you'll do is you'll simply look at women that you find attractive and you'll feel anxious. Right? You'll start to worry about whether saying the conversation starter that you're going to say is going to be good enough, whether she's going to be single or if she has a boyfriend, whether all sorts of things could go wrong. And you'll be worrying about those sort of things. But after you get to the hey, the approach anxiety is gone. And then you've given yourself an opportunity to meet her, make her feel attracted, and get some results. And as a result of that, you're going to get phone numbers, kisses, you're going to have sex with women, you're going to get laid, you're going to get yourself a girlfriend, versus not actually talking to women, right? Not talking to women doesn't achieve anything. But if you talk to women and make them feel attracted, then you have opportunities. So, for example, if you're at a bar or at a club or a party, and there's a woman near you or next to you, and she's within earshot, just a couple of steps over, and hey, right, starts the conversation. And she'll look at you, she'll pay attention to you. And now you've got a chance to make her feel some attraction, keep the conversation going, and get a result. But if you don't do that, then you're just going to be standing there looking at her and worrying about all sorts of things that could go wrong. So imagine that you're at a supermarket or a grocery store, and you go to the avocado section, and there's a pretty woman standing there picking avocados, and you don't really know which avocados to pick in terms of which ones would be ripe. So you say something like, hey, you seem like you know how to pick the right avocados. Which ones are ready to eat tomorrow? And the thing is, you're not being sleazy and trying to hit on her and trying to pick up a woman in the supermarket or a grocery store. Instead, you're asking a legitimate question. You're not doing anything wrong. And if you say it with confidence, then she's going to be feeling some sparks of attraction for you. But if a guy said the same sort of thing with nervousness, then the woman is not going to feel attracted to him. And that's why it's so important as a man to become confident and understand how to be confident around women. Because, for example, if I said essentially the same thing and was nervous and said, oh, hey, you seem to know the right avocados to pick, so which ones would be good to eat tomorrow? The woman then senses fear from the guy. She senses that he's not confident, and that's not attractive to women, even though he's saying essentially the same sort of thing. Whereas if I were to say it with confidence, then she's going to feel attracted. Hey, you seem to know which avocados to pick. Which ones would be best to eat tomorrow? And she then senses that the guy is confident, he's charming, And she starts to feel some sparks of attraction for him because of that. And if you're then able to flirt with her and use what I call playfully challenging humor, then she's going to be feeling a lot of sparks of attraction for you as you talk to her. And you can then have a bit of a chat with her, get her number, you send her a text to say hi, you make her feel some attraction, and you arrange a catch up, and the next thing you know, you're kissing and you're having sex on the first or second date, and you got yourself a new girlfriend or a woman that you're seeing. But if, for example, you're at the grocery store, the supermarket, and you're at the avocado section, and you see the woman there, and you're in that anxious state where you're worrying, if you try to think yourself out of that, you probably won't be able to do that, as you may have experienced already. Where, for example, you may have found yourself in a situation where there was a woman that you found attractive and you wanted to talk to her, and you were saying to yourself, just do it, come on. You know, women want to be spoken to if they're single, come on. You can do it. Other guys can talk to women. You can do it too. And you say things to yourself, and that can help to push yourself to take action and actually start talking to her. But if you try that sort of thing and it doesn't work, just remember that approach anxiety ends after the hey, right? When you say the hey, it's gone. You're in a new phase of the interaction now. It's no longer the pre-interaction where you're trying to build up the confidence and courage to talk to her. You're actually talking to her now, so it's not about approach anxiety now. What it's about now is making her feel attracted and keeping the conversation going. So imagine that you're at a dog park or even just a park, and you see a woman that you find attractive and she's walking her dog. And she has the type of energy that you like, the type of look that you like, and she seems kind of open to be spoken to. But you start to feel that approach anxiety. It starts to kick in. You start to worry, right? What if she doesn't like being spoken to in parks? What if other people see me talking to her and they think that I'm annoying her or being a nuisance? What if I say something and she doesn't like it and she has a bad reaction and she walks away? And you're causing yourself to feel anxiety because you're worrying about things. Just remember that approach anxiety is up to the hey. And after the hey, it's gone. And you're in that new phase of the interaction where you're making her feel attracted and you're keeping the conversation going. So she's walking along with her dog, and her dog seems to be happy, seems to be enjoying itself at the park. And you say something like, hey, that's a cool looking dog. He's really enjoying himself at the park today, isn't he? And what's she going to say to that? No, he's not enjoying himself. Is she going to have that sort of reaction? Pretty much every pet owner is not going to react negatively about their pet, and they like to get compliments about their pet. And if someone gives them a compliment about their pet, they'll usually be polite about it, even if they don't want to get a compliment, right? So it's the sort of conversation starter that you can use, starting off with the hey, where you get her attention and you get out of the approach anxiety phase of what you're trying to achieve. You just get past that by getting to the hey and just saying hey. And then you're in that next phase of the interaction where you're making her feel attracted and you're keeping the conversation going, right? So compare that to just looking at her, seeing her walk her dog, and being in that state where you're feeling anxiety and thinking, well, when am I going to stop feeling anxiety? When is it going to happen? When am I going to be just walking through the world and I can just talk to anyone, anytime, any place, because I'm just like Superman when it comes to confidence? Well, one of the things about confidence is that it builds with experience. And when you're able to interact with women and get to the hey and make them feel attracted, and you realize that women find you attractive and it's a lot easier than you thought it was, and it's not as scary as you thought it was, then you start to feel more confident about doing it, because it's like, okay, this is something that I can handle. This is something that isn't scary. I can do this. So therefore you feel more confident. And I was recently talking to the members of my community, the Master Attraction community, and one of my members who's doing a really good job, because he's one of the guys who listens to what I teach and then applies it, rather than listening to it and then saying, oh, but, yeah, and just holding on and wanting to hold on to things that hold him back. Instead, he listens to what I advise, he does it, and then he gets the results. And one of the things that he said after overcoming his approach anxiety as a result of learning things such as the confidence mindset that I teach in the first lesson at Master Attraction is that when he sees a single woman now, if he's walking through the city or through a shopping mall or he's out and about during his day, if he sees a woman by herself and she's pretty, he said, it's like there's $100 bill on the ground and he's just going to leave it there if he doesn't go over and pick it up, right? So instead, he just goes over there and shoots his shot, right? He gives himself a chance. He says a conversation starter and starts the interaction and starts making her feel attracted. Now, the problem is that if you do that during the day, it's essentially a coin flip in terms of whether the woman is going to be single or not, right? 50-50 chance whether she's going to be single or not, because when you're walking through the city or through your town, through wherever you live, or you go to a shopping mall, those are not the places that single women go to hopefully try to meet a man, right? But when you go to bars, for example, approximately 95% of the women there are going to be single. So the thing is, if you're someone who wants to approach and meet women during the day, you have to understand that it's not your fault if you walk up to a woman who's by herself and she isn't excited and open as soon as you start talking to her, right? If she seems a bit closed off, because sometimes she's already going to have a boyfriend or husband. And in other cases, she's going to be single, but she's going to feel very awkward about the fact that you're talking to her in a shopping mall or on the street. On the street, she may be thinking, well, is this guy going to try to sell me something, or is he going to try to mug me or something? What's going on here? Is this guy a normal guy, sort of thing? So some women will have their guard up. And in a shopping mall, for example, many people walk around and they're not in a state where they're feeling social and outgoing. Instead, they're feeling kind of inward. And they really haven't been talking to anyone other than having transactional type of conversations with cashiers. They're essentially just keeping to themselves. And many women do suffer from anxiety and shyness. So when you actually walk up to a woman during the day, for example, at a shopping mall or in a city or something like that, she may be an anxious woman, a shy woman. And it sometimes takes maybe 10 or 15 seconds or 30 seconds for the woman to start to open up and warm up and feel a bit more comfortable, where she senses that you're a confident, charming, easygoing guy and you're not some weirdo who is trying to pick women up and like try to get results sort of thing. Instead, you're just being cool about it. You're being charming and confident and normal. You're being a normal person, just having a conversation with someone. And as a result, her guard starts to come down. She starts to calm down, right? She starts to realize that, oh, I'm actually speaking to a confident, charming guy. And she starts to feel attracted. She starts to feel like she wants to open up to that. So once you start the conversation with a woman, all you've got to do is be able to make her feel attracted and keep the conversation going and then shoot your shot. And if you're good at doing that, then you're set. All you've got to do is go around and talk to women and you'll get results. But if you're not good at doing that, if you struggle to keep conversations going, or you don't know how to make women feel attracted and make them want you sexually and romantically, then you're going to continue to struggle, because you may give yourself a chance to talk to a woman that you find attractive, but if she senses that you're nervous, that you're intimidated by her, then she's usually not going to want to give you her number, right? She's usually going to say, oh, sorry, I have a boyfriend, or sorry, I don't give out my number, or if she gives you her number, she may then not reply, as you may have experienced before. A lot of guys experience that. So it's not a case of you've just got to go and talk to women and then you're set. You really do need to know how to make a woman feel attracted. Women don't need to know how to make a man feel attracted. Men are just attracted. It's very simple, because a man's attraction initially is mostly based on how the woman looks. He is able to look at a woman and just say yes. But for women, unless the guy is very good looking, right, he's a handsome model or something like that, the woman looks at the guy as just another guy, right? He's just another guy who could potentially be attractive to her. And the reason why he can potentially be attractive to her is that you can actually make women feel attracted to you as you talk to them. And this is a skill that gets you laid, gets you a girlfriend when you're single, and it also ensures that the spark remains alive in a relationship. As you may have experienced if you've had some relationships before, even if a girlfriend that you've had was attracted to you initially, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to maintain her attraction over time in the relationship if you don't know what you're doing, right? If you end up becoming clingy, needy, insecure, emotionally sensitive, or you don't know how to handle her tests, and she ends up gaining too much power over you and therefore losing respect for you, if that sort of stuff happens, then you're not going to be able to maintain her attraction. So knowing how to attract women is one of the most important skills that you will ever learn as a man. And it also helps you overcome approach anxiety to the point where you know that if you start talking to a woman, you're going to be able to make her feel attracted. So there's nothing to be scared of. Instead, It's fun. It's like the member of my community mentioned, where he looks at the woman as like $100 bill just sitting there on the floor. Why wouldn't he go over there and pick up the $100 bill? He can do that. He knows that he can do that, just like he now knows that he can walk over and make the woman feel attracted. And if she happens to be single, then he's going to get a result. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. And if you want to get my exclusive confidence secrets that I can't share on YouTube, because I've recorded them into the lessons at Master Attraction, and once they're there, I can't share them anywhere else. If you're interested in learning those sort of things, as well as what to say and do to make women feel attracted to you when you're single and in a relationship, then head over to masterattraction.com. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video here on YouTube.